and she puts herself against the cross. If the story had even like 1% legitimacy, this woman would not be there. They would only prioritize the cross, and she would not be hugging the cross and standing next to it like she's Mary. Exact spot where the true cross is found. So it's all lies. Because all of this is orchestrated from the firmament. All of this is orchestrated by Antichrist, Whore Babylon, and Satan, and they have been alive since the beginning of time, and they have not died. And they have seen the entire journey of humanity unfold. And they will come down here and play out these types of story and insert themselves in our spiritual story. Chapel of Saint Helena. Helena's taken the cross over. So this is what's happening in our world. Secretly, the demons are doing this to our spirituality. The demons are doing this to our spiritual story. They are taking over or have taken over our spiritual story and made it their own. So these are all idol worship, all idol worship. Saint Helena Augusta, Empress of the True Cross. This is like demonic comedy. We also have Saint Helena of the Cross School in Chicago. This is appropriate. Saint Helena, lover of the cross of Christ. She definitely loves the cross of Christ. Saint Helena and the finding of Christ's cross. Like they all believe in that. So the story they made up about the cross is like they found other crosses buried with this cross. And to authenticate which cross was the cross of Christ, they actually took it to a sick lady and they made her touch all these other crosses and nothing happened. And when she touched this cross, she was magically healed. So the story itself is very childish and kindergartenish, because it's like, oh, she touched the cross and she was healed and the other crosses didn't heal her. So that's all like, you just have to take the quality of the story, that it is so fake and so childish. So the demons, they can actually make you sick, and they can actually take away your illness as well. So maybe the demon made the woman sick, and that sick woman was chosen to do this, and then the demon, and then this Helena, Whore of Babylon, put the cross on her and healed her as well. So they can do that. So the demons make you sick and the demons heal you. So you can't believe that this cross is the real cross, even if it is. The way it has been presented is just cringe. So we cannot believe in those types of stories that they are telling, because the demons can orchestrate that. So they can make you sick and they can heal you. Just because you touch something and if it heals you doesn't mean that's a holy thing, because we are living in a contaminated world where demons can make you sick and demons can heal you. Demons can turn you into a billionaire. Demons can make you very strong and powerful. Demons can make you feel like you're enlightened. So demons can do all these tricks on you, and they can make you feel like you're holy and divine. Demons can make you feel like you're extremely smart and courageous and make you go on a war. So demons can do all of those things. They can telepathically control you, and they control your body and mind. They can give you diseases, take away diseases, like you hear on the New Age community where people have cancer and they follow this thing and they get healed with cancer. That's all demonic stuff. So it's like not a new thing. So all of this is like, it's all a big game. It's all a big con game. It's all a big lie. It's all a big deception on their part to insert themselves into our spiritual system. A shrine to Aphrodite, Venus, was constructed over Golgotha, the traditional site of Jesus' crucifixion and burial. So there was a pagan temple constructed over the site of the burial of Christ, the place where Christ was crucified, buried, and resurrected. So there was a pagan temple built on top of that. And under the place where Jesus Christ was crucified, on top of that, they put a shrine of Aphrodite exactly over the site of where the three crosses are, where Jesus Christ and the two thieves were crucified. Right on top of that, they built a shrine to Aphrodite. You will see the same scenario of how this Venus is related to the cross within this pagan context. The same thing you will see parallel with Saint Helena. So it's not Constantine that found the cross and it's holding the cross, but it's actually Saint Helena, the female, found the cross and it's holding the cross. Because originally in the pagan temple, it was still Aphrodite whose shrine was constructed over the crucifixion site. Is the same person. So this Saint Helena that's holding the cross, that's obsessed with the cross of Jesus Christ, is the same person. That's Aphrodite, Venus, Whore of Babylon. So these are different characters. Main characters that you will see on this earth are just a representation of the beast. So it's the Whore of Babylon, Antichrist, and Satan. So you will see their identity across time. They say this Saint Helena discovered the true cross here, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, Jerusalem. So hope you know what's really going on here, and that the story they have told us is fraudulent and St. Helena didn't discover the cross. It's all a gameplay of the firmament that actually have an omnipresent view of this earth, that they know where everything is. We don't even know if that's a real cross, because the demons can do healing miracles with anything. They don't need a cross to do healing miracles. They can just do healing miracles, or they can even give you sickness miracles. They do both. They give you the sickness and they give you the healing as well. So don't believe in this pagan story of magically touching something and being healed. Don't believe in these pagan stories. So we don't even know if that's a real cross and if they've actually hidden the real cross or use it for themselves. We don't know that. That's what they have told us and that's what we have believed. But we don't know if it is true, because that's Helena is pagan, Constantine is pagan, and their lineage actually help eradicate Judaism, help eradicate and totally oppress the children of God or the people of God or the holy people of God. They oppress the Hebrews, they oppress the Jews, and everything that they have done, even the Second World War, Holocaust, it's the same lineage. It's all of these people, the pagans, that are doing that. And with this one, they have completely taken over Christianity and they have erased Jewish and Judaism from their own culture and their own religion. And they have completely taken over Judaism. They have completely taken over Judaism as Christianity. And that's what you have to understand. It's like a whitewashing. So the Roman pagans have completely taken over Judaism and turned it into Christianity. And that's like the image, like the Whore of Babylon, pagan Aphrodite, Venus, Saint Helena, Cleopatra, holding the cross of Yeshua, Son of God. And that's how they have taken over, completely made filthy the religion of Judaism. The whore holding the cross. You have pagan idol, basically, a person of the dead holding the cross, holding the cross of resurrection, claiming life to be theirs, claiming spirituality to be theirs, because they do not have their own system and they come in and take over our system. And that theme is very consistent across the world with the whitewashing today, when you see how they discriminate and hate other religions and other systems. They call us ethnic, brown hair, black eyes, brown skin, ethnics, while they are coming into our country, coming into our religion, coming into our homes and taking everything away from us and claiming it for themselves. And these are the blonde hair, blue eyes, fallen angels of heaven that hate the skin color and the features and the look of the people of earth, and they criticize us for our dark features, and they claim to have light features and be perfect. Whatever they want to envision themselves being better than us, they are actually still dependent on us. They have to serve the earth, everything that they have created and built here. They're actually serving humanity. They're actually our servants. You can't just come here and live here for free. You actually have to provide services. So all of these systems that they have built, they are providing services to humanity. They are our servants. We are the image of God. So that's why they come into our land, they come into our home, which is this earth, or they may come into different religious system or cultural system. They might even come into your home. For example, they turned me into a refugee when I was only 4 years old. So they came into my home and took everything away from me. So that theme is consistent whether it's individual, whether it's community, whether it's religious, whether it's global. You will continuously see that theme of the blonde hair, blue eye, Nazi fallen angels coming here and trying to take over the earth. You will see that consistent theme. The so-called fallen angels that claim to have everything, the highest and the best, they are the ones coming here and begging for loosh to humanity, begging for our time, attention. They want to be famous here. They want to do this kind of stuff here. They want to like be Saint Helena and have their Saint Helena Day. They want to be Constantine. They want to be kings and queens and rulers and influencers and industry leaders. They want to be all that because they are parasiting in our system. We are the host. They are the parasite. We don't need them. They need us. But they somehow believe that we need them. We don't need them. We have God. God made us. God put us here. We don't need them. A marble slab on the tomb of Jesus, which had been covered by the pagan temple. This sacred cave, then, certain impious and godless persons have thought to remove entirely from the eyes of men, supposing in their folly that thus they should be able to fictively obscure the truth. Accordingly, they brought a quantity of dirt from a distance with much labor and covered the entire spot. Then, having raised this to a moderate height, they paved it with stone, concealing the holy cave beneath this massive mound. So the holy cave, sacred cave, is where Christ was crucified, buried, and resurrected. So it's in that spot. They covered the temple and built a pagan temple on top of where Christ was crucified, resurrected. Then, as though their purpose had been effectively accomplished, they prepared on this foundation a truly dreadful sepulchre of souls by building a gloomy shrine of lifeless idols to the impure spirit whom they call Venus, and offering detestable oblations therein on profane and accursed altars. So Venus here is Aphrodite, Whore of Babylon, Cleopatra, Saint Helena. So these are all emanations of the Whore of Babylon. For they supposed that their object could not otherwise be fully attained, then they thus, bearing the sacred cave beneath their foul pollutions. It is worth noting that the profanation of the site by Emperor Hadrian targeted an existing place of worship of the Judeo-Christian community of Jerusalem, both at the tomb and on Calvary. This earthly worship lies at the roots of the apocryphal writings of the primitive Judeo-Christian community of Jerusalem. These writings are known as the Adam and Eve cycle, comprising the Cave of Treasures and the Combat of Adam. I have not read the Combat of Adam, but I have read the Cave of Treasures. So this is basically a historical account of how the pagans covered the holy site of Christ where he was crucified, buried, and resurrected. So they actually built a pagan temple on top of that, a temple for Jupiter and a temple for Venus. So they built a temple on top of Golgotha, where Christ was crucified, buried, and resurrected. And so this is an actual historical account. So they actually did this. And later on, the story will progress into how the pagans themselves actually destroyed this pagan temple and reestablished Christianity as Constantine's version of legalizing Christianity. So we'll cover that. Since the time of Hadrian up to the empire of Constantine, for almost 180 years, the statue of Jupiter was venerated on the place of resurrection, and on the rock of the cross, a marble statue of Venus placed there by the Gentiles. In the intentions of the perpetrators of the prosecutions, they would have removed our faith in the resurrection in the cross had they profaned the holy site with their idols. So here it says, the statue of Jupiter was venerated on the place of the resurrection. So on the tomb, they put the statue of Jupiter, and on the rock of the cross, a marble statue of Venus. So you will see how Venus and the cross are related. So you'll see Saint Helena, or the Whore of Babylon, Saint Helena holding up the cross. You will see that parallel here. On the rock of the cross, a marble statue of Venus was placed there by the Gentiles. That's what they say, by the Gentiles. But all of this has been orchestrated from the firmament. Another view of the same cave under Calvary. From these descriptions, confirmed also by the archaeological research carried out in this area, we know that this temple area of Alea transformed the Judeo-Christian site into a pagan one by replacing the cult of Jupiter on the tomb of the Lord and that of Venus on Calvary. You see Jupiter and Venus. Like, you will always see the masculine and the feminine. You'll always see Antichrist and the Whore of Babylon, or Satan and the Whore of Babylon. So you'll always see that pairing, the male and female. So you have the Jupiter and Venus on this. This situation continued for about 180 years. Temple of Jupiter laid over Temple Mount. So this is the area where Christ was crucified, where Christ was buried, where Christ resurrected. So this is the Venus Jupiter temple that they built over where Christ was crucified and resurrected. The tomb of Christ was once buried under an idol of lust. So over here, you'll see the space where Christ was crucified and resurrected. Over there it says tomb, where Christ was buried. You will see the 3 crosses there where Christ was crucified, and that was covered with this pagan temple. So they built a pagan temple on top of that. As our own era, sexual exploitation may seek to bury the cross of Jesus, but the power of the cross will topple all idols dedicated to lust. So it's more than lust, it's idol worship, it's someone trying to come and take over this holy site of crucifixion, overcoming death. And the demons don't like when we overcome death. So they're like, how dare you overcome death? And they'll come and cover up this and put their own death temples, idol worship, mindless things, mindless buildings, mindless marble temples that they will build on top of the real thing.